Tonight, reports of wildfires erupting across South Carolina, the demolition of the USA's tallest roller coaster, and the ACC and Clemson lawsuits come to a close, all here on Clemson News Now. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mallory Sickles.
And I'm Katie Pfeffer. Our first story comes to you from Jackson, New Jersey, where the tallest roller coaster in the United States, King Dacaw, has fell from its throne of heights in a controlled implosion last Friday. Fans of the beloved Six Flags attraction gathered outside just after 7 a.m. to witness its destruction. Despite the popularity of the ride, it was not immune to issues and controversies. King Dacaw quickly fell victim to frequent mechanical failures that caused the ride to remain closed for weeks or even months at a time. After years of routine closings, Six Flags executives feared that the ride was becoming too expensive to continue operating in order to close it permanently.
King Dacaw made its public debut in 2005, and in its 20-year existence, it experienced a wide array of highs and lows. The ride was known for its 456-foot-high Top Hat Hill that sent riders hurtling at speeds of up to 128 miles per hour, making it the fastest ride in the world at the time of its construction. Though the ride's physical state has become mere rubble, the iconic ride will forever live on in the memories of its loyal fans.
Big news in college athletics. The ACC has finally reached a settlement with Clemson University and Florida State University after over a year of back-and-forth dispute over revenue sharing. The dispute arose when both Clemson and FSU challenged the ACC's revenue sharing model, arguing for a higher cut of the media rights revenue. The agreement introduces a new revenue distribution strategy and changes the rules for collegiate programs that are considering leaving the ACC. According to ESPN, the new initiative is based on a 5-year rolling average of TV ratings, which allows programs like Clemson and FSU with higher viewership counts to earn millions of dollars more, with the initiative planning to roll out in the coming year.
With this settlement, all lawsuits between the ACC, Clemson, and FSU are officially over, and both schools will remain in the ACC for the time being. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips has called the agreement a big win for the ACC, as it creates a definitive answer that could reshape the financial future of the conference. We'll be keeping an eye on how this plays out, but for now, the future of the ACC has gained some clarity.
Next, we turn to Jordan in our sports department. Jordan, what have the Tigers been up to this week?
Well, Katie, it's the first full week of March, and that means get comfy, Tigers, because we have a lot to cover, and we're going to start with gymnastics. What a night we had last Friday night at Littlejohn Coliseum, where the Tigers took on Texas Women's University and New Hampshire, and history was made. For the first time ever in collegiate gymnastics, one of the most difficult floor skills in all of women's gymnastics, known as the Biles 1, was successfully landed. Bree Clark, a redshirt junior from Daphne, Alabama, became the first collegiate gymnast in history to land the double layout half twist and did it with only a small step afterwards. Clark ended up scoring a 9.8 for her floor routine, and the Tigers ultimately took home the victory over the two schools by over 2 points, a significant spread within the sport. This historic moment gained a ton of traction on social media, even bringing in comments and support from Simone Biles herself. Clark and the Tigers look to follow up on a historic night for collegiate gymnastics on Sunday, when they head to Washington, D.C. to take on either George Washington University or Penn State, and they will close out their season at home against Penn State on the 14th in Littlejohn Coliseum. Last weekend on the Diamond, the Clemson baseball team took on the South Carolina Gamecocks, looking to earn the first point of the Palmetto Series, and it all started Friday night at DKS. Friday night saw Doug Kingsmore Stadium set an attendance record of 6,891 fans for a matchup between the unbeaten Gamecocks at 10-0 and the 13th ranked Tigers, whose only loss was to Ole Miss very early in the season. In the bottom of the first, Colin Priest opened up the scoring for the Tigers with a 2-run double to take the early lead. And in the second, Josh Pino and Dominic Listy both singled to bring in runs, and it looked like this one was going to be dominant for the Tigers. But Carolina had an answer in the third, and it was a 4-3 game for 4 straight innings. Until the 7th, when Jaron Purify launched an absolute moonshot that saw the momentum completely shift to the Tigers, and it was enough to give them a Game 1 win, 5-3. Games 2 and 3 went the way of the Tigers by scores of 5-1 and 8-2, completing the sweep, making it 5 straight wins against the Gamecocks and earning the first point in the Palmetto Series. The now 11th ranked Tigers head back to the Diamond at DKS this weekend for a 3-game series looking to keep the momentum rolling against Davidson. So make your way there for the show beginning tomorrow at 4, Saturday at 3, and Sunday at 2. Clemson women's lacrosse team secured the biggest upset win in program history last Saturday as the 14th ranked Tigers defeated number 5 Syracuse. Tied at 7 with just 7 minutes remaining, the Tigers turned to Katie Costello, who scored her 3rd goal of the match, and then Lexi Edmonds piled on, and it was 9-7. Syracuse had an answer with 49 seconds left to make it a 1-goal game, but the Orange ran out of time, and the Tigers moved to 5-0 on the season. After a thrashing of Queens, 25-5, the now 6-0 and 6th-ranked Tigers returned to action on Saturday at noon against the 18th-ranked Duke Blue Devils at the Clemson Lacrosse Complex. Clemson's women's basketball team made it to the ACC tournament and took on the Stanford Cardinal, looking to notch a victory in the postseason tournament for the first time in 2 years. The Tigers pulled the upset 63-46 behind Loyal McQueen's 17 points, and with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, they broke the program record for three-pointers in a season, beating the previous mark of 214. With the win, they also most likely ended Stanford's season before the NCAA tournament, which is a fate the Cardinal hadn't met in 36 years, the second longest streak in the country behind Tennessee's record 42 straight appearances. The Tigers look to carry their momentum into a matchup against 6th seed Louisville right now and get revenge for the 26-point loss they took earlier this season. And Clemson Men's Hoops wraps up our sports coverage here tonight as the Tigers continue to roll and look toward the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament shortly thereafter. The Tigers sit just 1 game behind Duke in ACC play and would need a loss from the Blue Devils and the Louisville Cardinals, who have a crucial win against Clemson earlier this season, and to win against Virginia Tech on Saturday to secure the regular season ACC title. While these scenarios probably aren't going to all play out for the Tigers to have that accolade, here's what most likely lies ahead when they reach the ACC tournament. Barring anything crazy happening over these final couple games, Brad Brownell and his crew will head into Charlotte as the 3rd ranked team and will have a bye through the first 2 rounds. Clemson, who was one of 2 ACC Cinderellas in the NCAA tournament last season, along with 11 seed NC State, will return to the tournament, but this year is much different. People are well aware of what this Tigers team is capable of, how good Chase Hunter and Ian Shefflin were in March last year and could easily be again, and how this team is no longer a feel-good story, but a legitimate contender in March. Selection Sunday is March 16th, and the madness begins on March 20th. And as of now, Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology update has the Tigers sitting at the 5 seed in the South region, where Auburn currently sits at the 1. However, a lot can change in these next couple weeks, so stay tuned to see what chaos ensues and whether the Tigers' projections rise or fall as they head to the big dance. And one final thing, Clemson now sits with 7 teams in the top 25 nationally, which only means one thing. It's not just a football school, it's an everything school. That's all I have from the sports side, I promise. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. This just in from right here in the Carolinas. A series of wildfires have erupted, prompting thousands of evacuations and leading to a state of emergency. Over the weekend, more than 175 wildfires have been reported across both states, being perpetuated by dry and windy conditions.
The Myrtle Beach area hosts the most significant fires in the greater Horry County area. The Myrtle Beach fires have consumed nearly 2,000 acres of land and are only about 30% contained. Governor Henry McMaster has placed a burn ban over the state of South Carolina, emphasizing that anyone in violation will face legal action.
In North Carolina, Polk County has also been affected by the fires, which have burned over 500 acres and is only about 30% contained. While most fires have been small and unthreatening in North Carolina, the sheer number of fires highlights concern for the severity of conditions. Firefighters are working alongside state and local agencies to contain the fires as they continue to rage on. Officials in both states urge residents to adhere to official orders and remain attentive. In the meantime, our thoughts are with those affected by the wildfires and those who are working to keep their communities safe.
In a rare and eye-catching phenomenon, alligators in Little River, South Carolina, have been spotted with an orange tint. Citizens have been concerned and confused over the orange alligators that seem to be living in the Little River area. Wildlife experts have addressed this phenomenon with a simple explanation: brumation. Brumation is a hibernation-like state that reptiles enter during the colder months of the year, leading to the temporary color change. The alligator's contact with clay soil and oxidized water during brumation is what causes the gator to go from green to orange. Although peculiar, this phenomenon is not new to South Carolina. Previous sightings include gators in Bluffton in 2019 and Charleston in 2017. Hopefully, South Carolina lakegoers will continue to keep an eye out for these colorful creatures from a distance, of course.
We now turn to Drew in our weather department. Drew, how's the weather looking this week?
All right, Tigers, let's talk weather. Because if there's one thing we all love, it's complaining about it. Friday, we will be getting a classic spring fake out with a high of 57 and a low of 33. Saturday, the weather flips the script on us with a high of 74 and a low of 45. On Sunday, we cool off a bit with highs of 58 and a low of 43. And a few showers are possible in the morning. So if you wake up to rain, just take it as a sign to sleep in. You deserve it. Looking ahead, the temperatures are back on the rise with highs in the 60s and 70s. Who knows, maybe summer is coming early after all, like I said last week. But that's all we have here. As always, stay safe, stay dry, and get some sleep. Back to you.
Thanks, Drew. This past weekend was an exciting time for film fans across America as the 97th Oscars was held on Sunday night. In what some critics are calling a cinematic upset, Mikey Madison took home the Best Actress award for her role in the highly decorated film Anora. Many assumed Demi Moore was the favorite to win for her role in The Substance after she received a plethora of accolades for her performance at just about every other award show. Another win that caused outrage in many fans was Adrien Brody's Best Actor win for The Brutalist.
The highly praised film was recently exposed for using AI in many of its scenes, raising questions of whether it should be allowed to remain in the running. Because of this, fans had been hoping to see either Timothée Chalamet or Sebastian Stan receive the prestigious award for their respective performances in the biopics A Complete Unknown and The Apprentice. Many have even posted images of Timothée and Sebastian's reactions to losing on social media, claiming that their frustrated expressions are more than justified.
This year's Oscars were hosted by none other than late-night talk show host Conan O'Brien. Fans and social media users agree that O'Brien more than exceeded the high expectations that surrounded hosting such a high-profile event. Overall, this year's Oscars was one for the history books. Congratulations to all the night's nominees and winners.
That's all we have here tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mallory Sickles.
And I'm Katie Pfeffer. Clemson News Now.